never did nothing, nigga. You ain't no gang.
They do. That's right.
You're entertainer.
They the gangbangers,
Tough
nigga.
rapper.
You soft, gang. You soft, nigga. You soft, nigga.
You get the
You
film.
soft, nigga.
You get the
This ain't
film.
1989.
You get the film. You ain't never seen nobody fuck me up. I ain't never
Don't
ran
fuck
from
him up,
nobody.
Fuck him up. You know the cigarette. You know the cigarette. Fuck him up.
The cigarette. Go ahead. Fuck me up.
Give me the glass.
Fuck me up.
Let's fuck him up. Move, Chrissy. Chrissy, move, Chrissy.
Hell no. Come on, y'all. Baby, please, you can't let this happen. You can't let this happen. You can't let this happen. You can't. No.
Go inside and do something.
Never see me down tonight.
Come on, guys, please. Let's just.
Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Debo, man. Like, share, subscribe, definitely comment to my content, man. Listen, man, it's time for some big homie talk, all right? Jim Jones, aka Jomo. Now, I know you're going through it, bro. You're human just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I know you like to be, you know, stick your chest down on the camera and be the tough guy you feel like you need to be and shit like that. I know how this world is, you know what I'm saying? Life ain't about shit. Life is a bitch, then you die type shit. All right, cool. Listen, man, you might need a break. All right, let's have some big homie talk. You might need a break from this, the cameras and everything and all the drama and the back and forth. Sometimes it's not mentally healthy for the person that's, you know, it's presenting itself to as far as life itself. You know what I'm saying? It seems like life is kicking your ass, unfortunately. And you definitely got to pay those bills and shit. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get it 100%. You know, you feel like to yourself, I'm speaking to you, you feel like you're a good, kind-hearted dude and shit like that. You always, you know, pretty much stick up for your friends and help people out and such and all that, man. And that may be. But perception is everything. Perception is definitely key when it comes to the internet. And I'm pretty sure you heard that before. So with that said, how you're being perceived on the internet is just an unruly thug, you know, an old head who still wants to be, you know, talking his gang mess and all that stuff like that. And, you know, just throwing out sound bites that you think is going to get your name in rotation and stuff like that. But all that and these sound bites and these things that you're doing, you're talking about your past friends, your ex-friends, or whoever you used to fuck with and all that, is just looking crazy, a big crazy mess. And you don't know what the next era is going to entail. You know, even though as toxic as this internet shit may be, the next era might, you know, get it right and be like, you know, set itself straight. When I say that, I'm talking about how like the 80s and the 90s was. Yes, sure, it was hectic and crazy and stuff like that before the internet, because the internet shows everything times 10. We understand that. But some things, man, later in life, you know, it just kind of fixes itself and stuff like that. And they'll be talking about your past dealings on who you are and how you, you know, pretty much move and shape in the world of hip hop or just the world itself, period. And man, listen, back then, I know I could tell that, you know, your relationships with say Dipset, the Diplomats, and Cameron and shit. Let's go back then before even say Dipset. You know what I'm saying? Like Children of the Corn with Herb McGruff, Mace, Big L, rest in peace. I'm not saying he was in Children. He probably was in Children, but it don't matter. All them cats was rapping. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure we understand that you wasn't a rapper back then until Mace taught you how to rap. And that feeling could, you know, probably had you felt left behind, if you will, where everybody was getting their name up from Herb to Mace to Cam, Big L, you know, even Bloodshed, may you rest in peace. You was just like in the background, being the hype man or just, you know, being around and shit like that, while everybody was getting their 15 minutes of fame, if you will. And that made you probably feel away. Who knows? But I'm just assuming, you know, because I'm looking from the outside in, I'm looking and shit like that. And it could be a whole bunch of things that we're not even talking about that people don't see that's there and shit like that. You know, from what I gathered, you was raised by your moms, you know what I'm saying, who looks like a cool moms and stuff. You know, we see her actions through the internet and stuff like that. You know, it was crazy shenanigans and shit like that. But nonetheless, she looked like a mother that was there for you and shit like that. Don't know about if your father was there and all that stuff. But you're asking me, yo, you know, you're not asking me, but, you know, people will probably say, well, why are you talking about that? You know, the makeup of a man, the makeup of a person goes with who you was raised by, what you was raised around. You know what I'm saying? Your environment and all that shit. All these things come into play because everybody's not the same. You understand? Everybody was raised different. Everybody have different thoughts and ideas and understandings of how life works and shit like that. And you're famous. You're a public figure. So we're looking as to how you carry yourself in this thing called life and shit. And with that said, man, you probably, like you say, you know, raised by a woman and stuff like that. And not saying that'll make you any different as a man, but it just plays into things and stuff like that. You're probably a little more sensitive to certain people, you know, on how they treat you and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you was, you know, you was nurtured and stuff. Unfortunately, you know, there are not a lot of black fathers out there by raising, you know, young boys to be men and shit like that. And it's very unfortunate. And we could all go about things kind of different. Anyway, this all started with apartment, I guess 5B it was, you know what I'm saying, your grandmother's house, may she rest in peace. But that's where y'all all said the apartment where everybody was hanging out in your grandmother's house, cutting school and shit like that or whatever and whatnot. Maybe, who knows, those people that, you know, that you was hanging out with used you due to the fact that you had an apartment. And respect comes from where it comes from, man. You know, some people, they'll use you for what they use you for and shit and don't think anything else of it. They'll look at you a certain way until you change their way of how they think about you and shit like that. So all this time, while I was growing up and getting into the music business and shit, doing the Children of the Corn, trying to get into the music business and all that, they might look at you as a person that, you know, gets things or do things for them or just, you know, supply the entertainment. Who the fuck knows and shit. But we know you became a hype man and stuff. And, you know, you becoming a hype man is, you know, once again, it's a secondary situation. You're pretty much on stage hyping the main star, which was Cam at that point in time. So you did a lot of things to put in work for them to have to respect you and shit like that, because you could have stood back and stood in that range and whatnot. But, you know, from the things you've done, it's look at me in a sense of like, I want attention, but you want your work to be noticed. You wanted to be a rapper. Rappers want to be noticed for their skill set or whatever. So you wanted to be noticed. You did the directing thing. You did the hype man thing. You did everything to show out, show your face. You know what I'm saying? You had the long, wild hair, cornrows, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You joined the gang. You was, you know, and all that shit. And pretty much a lot of things you've done was, you know, actions that you've done yourself is to be noticed and stuff like that. And you got that. you got to be noticed and shit. But what I gather from here, I'm saying all that to say I'm gathering from what I'm here, what I'm looking at is, Jim, with you, made a lot of decisions that led to where it's at right now. You know what I'm saying? You could have probably been capping a couple of times. You could have been, you know, real on a couple of issues and shit like that. But I'll give you a prime example. Let's just go to where we at now, the Dame shit. You know what I'm saying? People are saying, you know, you pulled up on Dame with the goons and all that shit, ready to fight. Now that, you know, I can understand having protection with your peoples with you and shit, but if you're going to fight, that I get. I can dig it. If you're gonna fight Dame for whatever wild reason you want to fight Dame for, you fight Dame. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Get your mano a mano on, but you don't like shove somebody else to go punch your man that you once had a, you know, a relationship with in the face. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's cowardly.
Don't fuck him up, bro.
No.
Cigarette, go ahead. Fuck me up.
Give me the glass.
Fuck me up.
Move, pussy.
In everybody's eyes, even yours, you know. See, don't have a deception or delusion as if we're saying something to you that you're not understanding. We're all crazy. You know that was a cowardly act, and we've seen it happen visually. They dropped the footage of you saying, "Yo, go hit him, go hit Dame." Nobody wanted to do that, bro. There's a reason for that. They have respect for Dame. You understand? If you would have had respect for Dame, you would have did that yourself. You understand? So a lot of things, man. We're not saying you're not a get with a nigga like you don't bang out, you don't fight. We're not saying all that shit, but we saying there's a couple of things we've seen to make us believe that shit ain't 100% real. it is what it is. You know, we know you run around New York City to the clubs, 30 deep, 40 deep, and all that shit. But we'll respect the man that does his own dirt, puts in his own work. You know, you being emotional on, I guess it was Hot 97, or I think it was Hot 97 or 105 point, one of those fucking radio stations. I don't give a fuck, but you know, you shedding tears and stuff about certain situations.
Understand, boy, I put everything on the line for this, and I took it with a smile. Even when niggas doubted me, niggas down me, when I was on trial and niggas told me I need to take the plea. Take what plea? We don't take pleas, nigga. You heard? By the grace of God, the trial gets dismissed because they couldn't find enough evidence of a shootout that happened on Uptown over Cameron. You heard? I want the trial over shit like that. I want the court over shit like that. Every time you see me in the news, it was over diplomats. When I get sued and shit like that, it be over diplomats. When I'm kicking ass, when I come to the club 30 deep, it did what? It made the diplomats look good. You heard? When I'm banging blood, it was good for them, right? It was good when it was good for them. You heard? When it wasn't good for them, oh, nobody wanted to be a part of the Bloods. But when the Bloods became popping and it became the notoriety of the Bloods started becoming, oh, everybody want to turn blood.
And whatnot. It's just crazy to us. It feels like you're being teased. You're being attacked by your old school friends that like to snap. One thing about Harlem will be snapping on you. Like, niggas in Harlem love to snap. You know what I'm saying? If you can't take that snapping, get the fuck out of there. Because the more you get mad, the more they will snap on you. I would know. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Bobby Burke, who they call him Bobalop. You know, for those who don't know, that's Big's brother. You know what I'm saying? Me and Biggs was around the same age. I'm talking about Big from Rockefeller. Me and Biggs from Rockefeller was around a certain age and stuff like that. And when we was in the Bronx, you know what I'm saying? They used to live in the Bronx. We used to live in the same building and stuff. I did the music thing, and, you know, obviously Biggs became the third person on Rockefeller CEO and shit like that. Every time I used to come downstairs to Biggs' house to go hang out with him and shit, he used to go upstairs and we used to hang out all the time. His brother used to snap. I would go in the room. It'd be me, Bob, Biggs, probably one or two other people who would snap all the time. They would instigate that shit, the snapping. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn to get with it, man, because niggas will laugh at you all day, every day. And that carried on with Dame and them. You see, as Dame, he just want to snap and get on, cut ass all day, every day.
What's up, niggas? What's happening?
Money mix. So you got that new soft thing.
Come on, man. You know I'm out here doing me, man.
Okay, what's up, baby?
What's up, B? I hope you ain't stopped the disappointing nigga, man. I hope that game is still on, man. I hope we still got that bet, man.
What?
Man, I hope we still got that $5,000 bet happening, man. What? The Knicks, nigga.
What?
Man, turn down the bum ass stereo.
Hold on. Right. You said 5 G's, nigga?
5
You gonna stop
Gs,
acting
man.
like you the only nigga getting money, man. Make it 10, man. What's wrong with you,
Make it
man?
10 G's, you pulling
Nigga, we
ass
getting
nigga.
more money than you, man. You know what I'm saying?
I got a G
G
for every bump on your face, nigga. Whatever you want, man.
Hey, what you laughing at, man? You need to put your man on. He look bad. Tell that nigga to hit you with an ounce of something or something. You know, this is my Thursday call, man. On Saturday, I'm breaking out with something new, all right? Saturday, report to bridge and blow up.
I am the bridge, man. You report to me, man. Always, man. At
Hey,
all
remember what I
times,
said,
man.
man. You might want to holler at me.
Ass niggas.
You know what I'm saying? My man Bob was a big part of that shit. That's all they would do. Harlem niggas would snap and shit like that. So, man, you look like the cat Jim. You look like the cat that, like, you just didn't like that all the time because you just couldn't get with the jokes. You couldn't put the joke. You wasn't a joking type of, you was more of a, man, fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? I'm holding the block down. You know what I'm saying? Type of nigga and shit. So, it just seems that when they get on you, it makes you feel away, and, you know, obviously you don't want that and stuff like that. So you demean their character on who they are and the things they've done, accomplished in the music business by saying Dame wasn't no real hustler or whatever. Well, that's not music business shit, but you know what I mean.
Jim, what Dame impact was on the Dipset?
Dame's impact on the Dipset was nothing.
What his impact was in Harlem?
Dame impact in Harlem was nothing. Not to say it like that. Dame came up under hustlers. That impact was it. He was a little dude when it came to hustling in Harlem. He wasn't not no Rich Porter, none of that type of. He wanted to hustle. He wanted to hustle for niggas like Rich Porter and shit like that. Dame from the East Side. When the niggas on the East Side is different from the niggas from the West Side. Now for the East Side, Dame was a big deal to us because we were little. When he was coming from the West Side, little car, jewelry, and all that. So when you're young, he's looking like Rich Porter, but in reality, you know, he was like this, nigga, go to the store, nigga, take a couple grams, get out of here.
Dame wasn't no real hustler and shit like that, or Cam didn't do this, or this person didn't say that and shit. You know what I'm saying? Another prime example before I go. You know what I'm saying? The shit where Cam was having those issues with the cats in the Lower East Side. You know what I'm saying? True Life in them and shit. And whatnot. When Cam was like having issues with them and shit, or just issues with 50 period and shit like that. You was on 106 in Park, you know, doing you, like, yo, I gotta do me. Niggas ain't gonna look out for me, but that was some awkward shit.
Get it going. You got back there. Oh, man. Yeah. What you know? What you know?
What's good?
It's your man Jim Jones right here. Bought you the biggest record of last year, right?
Oh yeah, we had a nice
what we
time
call
last
that
year.
one? What we call that
I was
one?
balling, we still balling. What's poppin', big baby?
Yes, sir. Was balling. You know, so
man, we got this.
So why was you here? Man? We gotta do that one time. Tell me, I'll show you how you do it.
You got to pass me the ball for.
Even for people, you know what I'm saying? That was a big footnote in the friendship, not just in Dipset, but just friendship with niggas, period, on how you move and shake with your peoples and shit, man. 50 got one up on Cam with that because you chose to just go on the other side and fuck with the other side. You understand? From what I recall, a lot of niggas was trying to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I remember when Remy Ma was about to be on that wave too, but backed off of it due to, you know, Joe making some phone calls like, yo, see, we ain't about to do that. Chill. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was gonna ride that 50 wave and shit. You know what I'm saying? But you chose to go all the way and go on national TV. I don't call it national, but cable, and just, you know, yo, I'm here. Just like, that was awkward, man. And Cam still fucked with you after that. He still took you back and shit like that. Now I don't know what was, you know, in the workings. It could have been some foolishness going on and make you feel so super crazy that it make you want to turn on Cam and do that. Who knows? And shit like that. But that wasn't the wave, not to a lot of us. Anyway, with that said, man, yo, man, you might want to take a vacation or something, man. You might want to chill, man. Work on the music and shut all that other shit out, man. Shut all that white noise out, man, because it's so easy to get to you, man, that you're going to feel a certain way. You're going to be blocking niggas, doing this, that, and the third and shit. And you seem like an okay dude, because everybody's not 100% fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not, you know, well, you know, you never know. But, you know, I see from outside looking in, when I see you and shit, I see you probably a good, kind-hearted dude that you can get with, you know what I'm saying, revolutionary and shit, and fight the people and fight the power with the people and all that, if you just keep it 100 with yourself and shit like that, man.
You heard? You get older, you won't know till you grow. You get wiser. Your decision making gets better. I will hope as you get older. But me as a person, I don't change.
Like when niggas don't keep it solid or the let down, that shit fuck with you bad. Cause I look at you like a genuine nigga, bro, and you be real. I won't say sensitive when you talking, but you mean that shit, and if it don't go right, it fuck with you in another way because you so genuine towards shit.
100%. I mean, because I mean well for people. I really mean that. You dig? If I fuck with you, I fuck with you from my heart. I mean, I don't fuck with you for no other reason and shit like that, man. You dig? If I see you as a money, then that's what I see you as. I see you as money. I see you as your hustle. But if I fuck with you, then, I mean, I got my heart in it. I mean, you can get damn near anything from me. And when I'm disappointed, like anybody, you will feel fucked up for somebody disappointing you and shit like that.
You got the power. Lastly is this. You have the power, Jim Jones, Jomo, whatever you want to be called. You got the power to make a lot of lives better and change shit for the better, for the good, and shit like that. Instead of running these streets trying to be super OO, triple OG and all that shit, and I understand you blooded up and all that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? You're a man of a certain age, man. And your brain cells, when you look in the mirror, all that shit is gonna get very old real soon. Like, that's just not gonna be a way. I'm not saying you don't have to cut off being what, you know what I'm saying, what you feel you are, which is blood and shit, but nah, man, it's time to get grown manish and really put everything in perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because you can make that happen. You know what I'm saying? Know your faults, take accountability for your actions, and yo, man, just take it from there. You know, I could have just made a video about ragging on you and all that shit. Yes, it does say that you're going outside, because you are going outside in the sense of just not keeping it 100 with yourself and keeping it 100 with the people by spewing out these lies about your friends and all that stuff because you feel away. You know what I'm saying? But in turn, if you see this, you can fix it.
Got you emotional so early in the conversation. That doesn't usually happen.
It's cool, though. These are things that humble me.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Because I be moving so fast that sometimes I forget about what's more important in life. And it's easy to get caught up in this game. And you just bring me back to reality.
You feel me? Anyway, like, share, subscribe. some big homie talk. I rock with y'all. Peace.